Hey guys, welcome back to Age of Empires 2. Gonna cast another 1v1 ranked. If I can get to saves and replays. I played two today. The first one was Mongol's Mirror, and that's the one we're gonna cast. The second one, I got absolutely owned, and it wasn't a very exciting game. But the first one was a lot closer, so we're gonna watch this one. So let's load that up and get cracking. This is a Nomad map. So you start with 3 villages dotted around the map. At the start, I didn't even realise about this guy up here. He was just left. Be interesting to see where my opponent's villages started out. So he was kind of like 3 spread across the map. So I suppose I was lucky that I had 2 that were close together. Wow, he was all the way over here. But then there was that guy who was miles away anyway. So we'll go back to my view for now. So I don't realise about this guy for a while. So you build your town centre. It's usually good to kind of scout for some resources and build it, but I thought, right, if I've got I've not played one of these types of a Nomad game before. So yeah, you see now I notice the other guy when I start building my town centre, and send him back to over this way. So I just thought I'm going to build my town centre as soon as possible, and then start trying to churn out villages as soon as possible. So we're both gone Mongols, and they've got like a really amazing, unique unit. It's like they're called Mangudai. They're like a cavalry archer, and so a really good strategy with Mongols is to just mass as many of those as you can, and because they're really mobile and really strong, so you can they're really kind of multiple uses. Once you've got a certain number, they can they're good against almost every opposition, because you can just run away and fire and run away and fire. But we've both got the same civilization here, so it's going to be we're both at evens really. So I'm going to start using this village just to scout a little bit to see if I can find anything. And you see I've reached my population limit. I need to build a house. How long does it take me to react? There we go, there's a foundation there. So I'll take the fog of war off, and you can see it's like an island, the map, and it's a tiny map. You see him over here, he's building his town centre. So we start ahead. Where's the score at? There we go. He does have more score than me though, which may be due to having more resources, because I'm spending my resources. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, so let's go back to my view there. Yeah, so it's a different start then to how it usually is. So it kind of is very different, and you have a kind of a build order that you try and stick to when at the start of the game to try and make that as efficient as possible. But when there's a huge difference in the way that the game starts, it can throw you off quite a bit. So maybe that's what happened to the person I'm playing against now, because he looked like they were a bit later to building the town centre. But maybe they just scouted a better area for the town centre, so that could also be a plus. But it means we get to start producing villages quicker. So now I have a bit of a panic about collecting food, as you can see, because I went straight to hunt the deer, and just found my first boar now at what, six minutes in. So let's see what his opponent's at. So he's done the right thing early on, and he's built a dock. Docks are building the dock and going for fishing ships really, when you can, it's kind of almost always advised to do so. It's just a separate food income to villagers collecting resources on land, and it can give you. It's just a very reliable source of food, because once you built the fishing ship, as long as they can find some fish, you've always got solid food income. And so if we look on the score here, my opponent there has got much higher score at this point. I don't think got as many villagers. We're 7 villagers there versus 10 for me. So I'm 3 villagers ahead, but I think it's building a dock does give you anything on water for some reason seems to give you quite a high score. So yeah, score isn't everything, but it is it can be a useful statistic to see kind of where you're at versus your opponent. So I ain't done much scouting here. That's another thing. You don't start with a scout. So I'm having to scout with villagers when I can. You should, if you find sheep, you should be scouting with sheep. So, but I think I just send the sheep back to the town centre. So like I say, I'm just sending a few villagers around to try and see what resources are immediately around me. It's not an I didn't pick a fantastic place for the town centre, to be honest. And then you see me building a mill to collect the berries there. So it's going to be quite a late feudal age. Let's see where his opponent's at this point. So their economy's has not built any fishing ships, surprisingly. You'd have thought that maybe it's due to lack of wood there. Only got 1 villager on wood at the moment. Or 3. Where are the other 2? Oh yeah, on the straggler tree there. Yeah, he's milled the berries early on, but like I say, it's surprising they didn't go heavier on wood and get some fishing ships out, because that would have given him a real advantage at the start here. See, as soon as I built a dock, I was like, right, need to get a few fishing ships out. I think then I forget about fish at some point, and yeah, we find a second bar there, which is good. It's a bit more food income. So we're starting to get our economy up on its feet now, and I think I go up to feudal at 19 villages, which is somewhere about right. I think somewhere between 19 and 21 is a good number of villages to go up on, depending on what strategy you're going for. Although I wouldn't be thinking that far ahead. I'd just be like waiting until I've got the 500 food to go up and going up as soon as I can. So we built a barracks there. I'm lucky to get this choke point in the trees here, where I can just slot a barracks in there, and it's almost like a wall between me and the opponent. That's what they're doing at the moment. Just gone on to farms already in Dark Age. That's maybe not the best. Thing is, if you wait until feudal age till you go for farms, you can research the technology at your mill, which will mean that your farms have more food, so they last longer, and they're just so you spend less wood in rebuilding your farms when they run out. So yeah, I think for my opponent here, fish would have been the way to go. It's done good with the scouting though. You can see quite a fair bit more of the map than I can. Just want to check. I'm going to take the fog of war off here. I just want to check how many relics are on this map. We see one there. There's one over here. It's quite hard to see actually. I know there's another one down here. So I get both of these relics later on, but is there only 2 relics on this size of Nomad map? Kind of looks like it. On other maps of the same size, there's usually a few more. I can't see any relics about. Okay. I think I'll leave the fog of war off for now, just so we can more easily see what's going on. It's just interesting to see what the other player, what each player can see like at the start. So, yeah, so I've sent in a couple of militia, just because I wanted to, when I was going up to feudal age, I wanted to just send a couple of military units over just to see what was going on in his base. So you see me trying to just annoy the villagers here. Don't necessarily. It's not necessarily a bad thing that I lose the militia. It's just I just want to distract the villagers and damage his economy for a little while. Still, no fishing ships over here. And let's see what's going on over in our base. So we've no other military buildings as of yet. We're still milling the berries over there, and sending quite a lot to wood here. And again, just building more houses. Fair few fishing ships out, which really does me a favour this early in the game, because I don't have many villagers on food. Only these guys over here. And so it's kind of vital to my economy at the moment is the fishing. If I'd have explored around here a bit more, could have built maybe another dock or two and got some of the fish, some of the extra fish around here, and then I'd have quite a good fishing economy there. I don't know if okay, and you can see here I started building, training a few spearmen to just as a little bit of extra military, just in case I'm getting attacked. So I noticed he started producing some spearmen earlier when I sent my militia over. So just try to always be ahead of the military numbers, because I'm kind of training myself for later in the game, because that's what's going to be key in winning Mongols versus Mongols. Just having more of their unique unit than your opponent at all times. So you see we're starting to get quite a few more villagers now. These guys finish the berries, I haven't noticed yet, and I start going to farms. So I'll have researched this technology here at the mill, which means the farms get more food. I've sent a few villagers to gold, so we start collecting some gold, and I think before I go, it's still quite a while until we go to Castle Age, I think. So I've just left a couple of units here that I'm not being a pest with at the moment. Maybe I should have been. There's an opportunity there. I wasn't exactly sure exactly what he had in terms of military numbers. If we go back to my map, so at the moment all I can see is he's got that barracks there and that mill there. I haven't seen his town centre yet. I don't know if he's got any other military buildings, so I'm playing it quite cautious at the moment. And I think I've just brought these two back here. I started making a few scouts from some stables, and I built an archery range as well, because I knew that I'd need some technologies from the archery range for the unique units that I'll be making later. I think I forget about that villager for a little while. Yeah, so we've got a fair few fishing ships. Still haven't really explored much of it. I haven't done enough scouting really. It'd be good to send. I've got all these scouts now as well. So I'm starting to produce scouts. So it'd be good to send. The ideal thing would have been to send maybe even the first one just off to find other things in the map. You see, I lose a scout to a load of villagers there. That was sloppy. I probably sent him in and then came back to do some economy management and then forgot about him and he dies. So I noticed the spearmen there, and they counter cavalry units. So I'm trying to keep the scouts away from the spearmen. I realised there that with the villagers as well, I'm going to lose their spearmen, so I just pull them back. think he just chases me out of his base and then leaves me alone. Yeah. So I'm just camping out with my military around about where this relic is. I'll be trying to collect the relics later for some extra gold income. You see, population capped again, housed again, should I say. It happens quite a bit in this game. I do get a little bit freaked out by it being Nomad, I have to say. It's just simple things like I wouldn't usually put farms around my mill. They're much better to have them around your town centre. Because then if you are getting attacked, you can garrison your villages in the town centre, and then your town centre fires arrows at the army that's attacking you. So it's not like, you know, we're at 25 minutes, we're both still in feudal age, not going up to castle. It's a very slow game. You can tell we're both quite both pretty much noobs, but it's reasonably even. If you look at the score there, it's 1600 to 1400, and we're both creating a bit of military. We both we're starting to build up an economy. Still surprised that there's oh, he's got some fish now. He's got 3 fishing ships over here. I was surprised now. I think if he went fish straight away, I think he wins this game, because his economy would have been so much better than mine at that point, because it took me so much longer to go for a dock. So then I start using the scouts to come around this way, because I was getting attacked on this side. Get a couple of vil picks here, and I think I go back, but I'm cautious around the town centre. Surprisingly, he didn't garrison villages here so that yeah, his town centre would be firing arrows at me scouts. So he sends his pikemen over here to deal with the scouts, but as soon as I see that, I go, right, okay, we'll come away from that area, and we'll try going around the other side. Either that, or I just come back down here. You see he's got more pikemen there, so I think at this point I just think, yeah, okay, let's come back. So now I'm going up to castle age here. Plan is to get a castle as soon as possible. You see I've stuck a load of, I think it was a load of lumberjacks down here, put all them on stone, and it's 650 stone to get a castle. So I timed that quite well actually. Nearly at 650 just as soon as we hit castle age, and so I can drop a castle pretty quickly into castle age. And so you need a castle to produce your unique units. The Mangudai that I was talking about before. You see, I've forced all my villagers to drop off the stone. Maybe I'm looking at something else here, because they're all just stood there, not building. Oh yeah, I must be deciding where to place a castle. Go for a defensive castle, like close to my town centre and some of my economy. And with it being a very mobile unit, it's not too... the placement of the castle, it still matters, but it's not as important as if it was like a, you know, a melee unit that would be on foot and very slow. You might have to be a bit more careful about where you put your castle, as in terms of being able to get them to where you need to be to attack. So yeah, main strategy is going to be castles and unique units, and I think at some point soon, yeah, build a town centre around here somewhere. Second TC. So it's looking good at the moment. Score-wise, we've pulled away from him a little bit, and now that the castle's up, we can start thinking about producing some of our unique units, which cost for the Mangudai cost wood and gold, I believe, and the upgrades that we'd need will be archer upgrades, which you see me getting 1 or 2 of here, and then from a university. I don't even think I get to a point of building a university in this game, but from a university, another few upgrades, and also from the archery range a few upgrades, and from the stables a few upgrades as well. I don't get anywhere near all the upgrades to have them fully upgraded, but I think I'm just more focused on fighting than economy. I kind of start to forget about my economy a little bit. So yeah, you see me building my second town centre on the hill here. Next to the stone, near the gold, and near some trees there. And you see our opponent's just got a big score bump here. Let's see what's happened. So he's got some extra. He's building his second town centre here, which is really good actually, right next to the stone and gold. That's really useful. He's built a market. Maybe he traded some resources. We pulled away again a little bit there, but I wonder what caused the jump in the score there. Another dock, more fish. Maybe that's it. Built monastery, some towers. Maybe it's the fact that he's producing military. That could be it. So yeah, what's he producing here? He's got spearmen. He's just upgraded to pikemen. Got a knight there. I think when I see the knight, I get scared. Let's take the fog of water off now. That's my view here. So I should be starting to, I'm starting to produce some of these Mangudai now, and they'll be gathering around here next to this relic. So yeah, sent a few in there. I think I saw the knight and went, oh god, he's got knights. I might be in trouble here. Whereas actually, I wasn't in trouble at all. If I'd have known, it was just that one knight and some pikemen over here. I think with what I had here, just this small number of Mangudai, I probably could have done a lot more damage. And maybe finished the game a lot earlier than the game did actually finish. You see again, the score's quite close. So we're both kind of newbie, but we're close and quite newbie, which is I think always makes for a better game. It's impressive when you see someone amass a huge army and absolutely demolish you, but it's not the most fun thing to watch. If you've got two massive armies that trade quite well, I think that's quite fun and quite interesting. It's like sports, isn't it? If you have like a football team, for example, that absolutely walks all over another, and it's like there might be some exciting moments, like with some showboating and crazy goals and stuff, but the match itself's not as entertaining as something that would be. You can even have a draw that's more entertaining than like a 5 or 6-0 win, if just because it's close and it's a good contest. Like momentum going backwards and forwards. I think that's one of the really good things about sports like tennis and stuff like that. The momentum switches so quick. But anyway, so we see just like some tentative, like little half attacks. Neither of us really want to commit, and I think I noticed the castle here, and I try and stop this castle going up. What I really should have done is taken these three out and then gone for the villagers. Then I won't be like running around being chased around the castle. But I delay the castle anyway, and then his forces combined do scare me off a little bit. But then I bring my pikemen in to deal with the knights. And we're still producing pikemen here, so then he gets scared off a little bit. It was a good play from there to send the monk in. We've got two monks there. See, I'm still trying to stop the castle going up. But really, I should have gone straight for the monks. Because if you look, he's converted 2 of my Mangudai, and along with that, with the knights that he's got, means that he was in a better position in that fight. If I'd sent these pikemen in earlier, then maybe I could have carried on the fight and took the monks out. But really, the play there was to kill the monks first, and then maybe back off and try and take out the knights one by one. So here he gets his castle up. But at this point, I'm still producing Mangudai here, and I'm just laid down foundation for a second castle there, which I'm sending my villagers out to build. In fact, I was quite lucky that that didn't block the way for. Does it block the way for the Mangudai? Oh, I think they must have to go around the castle, around the shore side of it. That could have been that could have been a big fail. Might have ended up deleting my barracks so they could go through, but yeah. So you see, I've just built a siege workshop over here as well. I think this was the thing that this was a really good move here. So I had these gold miners, built a siege workshop there, and then I start creating some battering rams. So as well as pushing on this side with the Mangudai and the pikes, then I can start also flooding some siege into his base there, which would make me panic. I don't know about anyone else, but as soon as you see siege started coming into your base, that's panic stations. And we're going up to Imperial Age here as well. In fact, we're both going up to Imperial Age at the same time. How close is this game from two? This could be a low elo Legends cast by EMB, and EMB. Whoa, he won't be casting low elo Legends. T90 would be casting low elo Legends. EMB is probably playing some Neo or some Final Fantasy 7 right now, or something like that. I used to watch so much EMB playing Dark Souls and Bloodborne and that, which is kind of why I started a channel doing like Dark Souls and Bloodborne and that. Yes, but you see, we're starting to master get better Mangudai numbers now. We're creating a few out of both castles, and I see that he's starting to build a second castle over here as well soon. And so I'll try and deal with that. But if you look at what Mangudai numbers can do for you, I probably lost a couple unnecessarily there by going too close to the castle. But you don't have to get it doesn't take a massive group of them for you to start taking enemies down really quickly. Then you see us start sending the rams in there. I think I clicked them to the market before I saw the castle, and then I just go, right, okay, send them to the castle. So I'm going to send the pikemen forward here as a bit of a distraction. And then the Mangudai can clean up everything that's fighting the pikemen. So I thought it was worth it at this point to risk the castle fire, just to try and clean up the army that he had there. I think at this stage, if I would have pushed forwards and gone and taken his village, attacked his villages there, that might have been the game. But I think I'm concentrating on trying to produce more Mangudai. I think at some point as well, what's the drill research do? I forget. I think that's faster siege production. Which researching faster siege production when you've got an idle siege unit right next to your siege workshop. Fantastic play there. Yeah, so but the thing is, I forget about my economy. So although I've collected those two relics that we saw earlier, I think that was one of the last things that I did around here. I need to be building more farms, still creating villages, so the economy can boom. If he was a much more skilled player, then I've given him the opportunity by not focusing on my economy of him out-booming me and being able to produce more of the Mangudai than I have. But at the moment, things are looking good for us. And I think, yeah, we've researched Capdram, and now I'm sending the next level up of the rams to. First, I'll take out this tower, but then just generally destroy his base from this side. See, the only thing kind of that's keeping him in the game at the moment is having that castle. Because if I send all my Mangudai under the castle, they won't last very long. The castle fire, and he's fighting my siege here with villagers, which is a good move. But then it just means my Mangudai can start just like taking out all the villagers. So after losing that amount of villagers, and having fewer Mangudai numbers, the game's kind of just about over here. I think, yeah, I start creating some trebuchets. I mean, let's have a look at his resources. Let's see what his resources are like. He's got loads of wood. He could be producing. He could lay down a few more production buildings over here if he'd have done that a little bit earlier. And he could be flooding me with pikemen. What's his food eco like? His food eco is not too bad. And he's got. Where's his fishing ships gone? Oh, did they get taken out by my castle? No, no, they're around the back there. That's cool. Okay, so now we've got trebuchets starting to come out. A bit lazy there. I could have used the Mangudai. Oh yeah, I thought about it, but too late to take out the villagers that were attacking the siege. You see what I mean about them being? They're really mobile. When you've got a lot of them, they do a lot of damage. And yeah, they're one of, if not the best unique unit in the game. If you can get the numbers, that's the only problem. It takes a while to get the numbers, so you need to you need either luck or skill to get to that point. And I think it was more luck than skill in this case. Why I'm attacking a house with them, I have no idea. I should be raiding his economy at this point in time. Maybe I'm focused on something else. So he's still trying to master this Mangudai there. He's creating some. I think his gold is the problem at the moment. He doesn't have enough gold to be producing him. Still producing out of one castle, and then you see I get the trebuchets in. We're starting to send more rams. Siege rams now, which is I think the full the highest upgrade you can get on them. I want to see what happens here because I was distracted at this moment in time. I think I lose a treb. Yeah. Okay, that was interesting how they backed off, but yeah, and GG, and he resigns there. So let's have a quick map there. I was about to lose a treb, but I didn't lose a treb. Okay. Yeah. So, hooray! Another ranked win. So I think I've played 6 ranked games in total and won 2 out, and won 2 and lost 4. The one that I played after this, I got my arse handed to me basically. It was absolute carnage, but it wasn't really a fun game to watch. There weren't many battles, and when there were battles, they were short and they were heavily one-sided. I did terribly in lots of different aspects, but it just didn't make for a very fun game to watch, so I walked past that one. But yeah, so let's check out the stats. Okay, so overall we're kind of winning in every category there. In the military, he Kill death ratio is about 2 to 1, respectively, but the other way around for each of us. He didn't take down any buildings, but lost 15, and then but he did convert a couple of units. I think if he'd have used the monks more, that would have changed things as well, because the monks were. If you remember that fight earlier on, I had better numbers, but just the fact that he converted 2 of my units turned the tide of that fight and meant that it went from one that was winning to one that was losing. Largest army kind of says it all. He got to 15 while I was at 52. I think, like I say, the only thing that kept him alive for so long was the castle. If I'd have been able to take that down, maybe if I'd started making siege earlier, I don't think the game would have lasted that long. But he did collect more food and wood. Wood only just, but food by quite. What is it? An extra 1,000, 1,200, 1,300, no, 1,400, something like that. And then about a massive amount more gold and about 1,000, no, 100 more. Yeah, 1,100 more stone as well. If we go to technology, I beat him on the first 2 ages, but he got to Imperial faster than I did. Had more of the map explored. He had more research done, and well, he was on his way to 2 castles, so that was still quite even. Like I say, so I had 2 relics. He had not. There must only be 2 relics on those maps, unless I just couldn't see him. It seemed surprising, but anyway. So that was a big bonus for me, getting almost 1,000 relic gold when he had no, and I had more villages as well. At the point of time where we had the highest. So if you see that, I think building the town centre earlier, even though I had no idea really what resources were around it, really helped out the start. Because if you look at the population now, it looks like maybe he lost. Because I was creating villages, but maybe also he might have lost one to animals maybe. And I think I produced a little bit of military early on, and then in Castle Age I started producing like the Mangudai started coming out, and then once, I think at the time when we hit Imperial, yeah, look at that, there was a bit of a fight there, and he lost almost all of his numbers, and I was still producing. So yeah, 55-minute game. It was pretty. It was entertaining to play because, like I said, it felt close, and it felt like I didn't. It could go either way at quite a few of the junctions. So I hope you enjoyed watching that. I have to say there was a fantastic user on Reddit. Where's my phone at when I need it? Here we go. I just have to give him a shout out actually, because there was some really, really good stuff he was saying to us after watching his first online versus video. Where are we? I have to get to my messages here. So it was. Here we go. Yep. So user game over 72089. I think this was about a week after the video or something. Posted this huge comment about like his experience for his first what was it saying, three weeks of playing Age of Empires ranked online, and there's loads of good information in there. I don't think really I managed to do anything with the advice that he gave me in that game there, although I did go for scouts, and we were talking about that because I do tend to get wrecked by scouts quite early, so I went for scouts and pikes, as was kind of wasn't really his main suggestion or anything, but it was something that we talked about, and that really did help me out in that game actually. So yeah, definitely shout out to Game Over 72089. It's chaps like him or girls like her. I have no idea. Sorry, don't mean to offend or anything, but yeah, it's people like them that make Reddit as amazing as it is. Like, you know, I put up this random video of me playing online, then like a week later I get this huge detailed response about about someone else's experience. It's just like it's smashing. It brings brings people together, gets people talking about stuff. And for me, as someone who's quite, it might not seem it with us having a YouTube channel where I'm talking all the time, but for like quite an introverted person like me who don't normally go out and meet a lot of people, it's a great way for like-minded people to feel like they've got something in common with other people around the world. So yeah, thank you to him or her. Sorry, I'm almost doing that. For the great advice, and good luck in future endeavours on Age of Empires. And obviously, whenever I get interesting close matches like this one, I'm always gonna bob them on the channel. And another thing as well that I was thinking, if there's anyone watching this who's got some recorded games of their own that were really interesting, or had something memey happening or something crazy, and they want someone to do some casting for it, I'd love to give it a go. I'm not obviously not the best Age of Empires caster out there. There's some really, really good ones, but yeah, I'm always looking to do new stuff on the channel. So hit me up on in the comments or on Reddit. My Reddit is Lyle Music, by the way, which is a whole other story we'll go into another time. Released an album this Thursday. I might mention that in another video, maybe at the start, so maybe someone might hear it. But yeah. So thanks for joining us. It's been a lot of fun playing this one and casting it, and I'll catch you in the next step. All right, see you in a bit. Bye.